Alright guys, SweetleMyDeetle back with another video. We turned the cam on this time. People were telling me to use the cam, so we'll see how you guys like it like this. We're kind of going back on this beginner tutorial, kind of touching on some things that I was talking about in the last video. I noticed that we had the list, but I went out of order, so that's my bad. I'm going to kind of remake the list. Same stuff, just a different order. We already went over attachments and scents. So today I want to do map knowledge. And then in the next video we'll have terrace hunt and how to better your aim, as well as use your map knowledge to better traverse each map and do your terrace hunts, complete your terrace hunts more effectively. And then once you have all that stuff, then I believe you're good enough to go and try to go play some ranked, and then I would suggest to play with a team. So we're going to do it in kind of that order. So it'll be attachments and scents, map knowledge, terrace hunt, and then LFG or playing with the team. Those kind of go together. So attachments and scents we went over. So you should have by now you should have your good scents, one that fits you, at least just for the time being, one that fits you. You might want to change it. Everyone changes their scents at one point. I know I've done it before. Everyone does it. Attachments are kind of the same way. You'll kind of like pick and choose those as you go. Those are not definitive things. They're all personal preference, and your preferences might change throughout the time of you playing this. You might change the way you play the game, in which case your attachments or your scents might change because of it. But one thing that won't change is map knowledge. The thing that I guess the only way it would change is if they rework the maps, in which case you have to rework your callouts and your strats and everything like that with the rework of the map. But most maps stay the same, and most maps have a very definitive way of pushing each objective, as well as all the callouts. They'll be the same. Even when they rework the maps, they're very similar callouts. So right now, I'm making this video before they bring out they actually have it on the test server, but the rework of Oregon and the rework of House. So both those maps will have different callouts for future reference. And they've also reworked a bunch of maps since I've played this game. For example, Hereford Base. They've reworked Clubhouse since I started playing. They also reworked Theme Park. So yeah, there's a bunch of different things to rework. But what I'm going to do here is first of all, I'm going to go over the maps that are in ranked. I can't go over them all, so we're going to pick one specifically. But I will tell you that Outback is in ranked. So all these maps that I'm about to list are in ranked. And so those are going to be the most important ones to learn. And then the other ones you can learn in casual on your own time, just playing casual. They're kind of irrelevant because you're not going to be playing them in ranked. So the callouts don't even matter. I don't even honestly remember half the callouts on Yacht or Plane or whatever. But as long as a lot of callouts become the same. I'm talking about callouts because the map knowledge is mainly surrounded by callouts. If you don't know your callouts for each map and each specific objective, it's going to make team play a lot harder. So that's why we're going over this. We're kind of doing it in a specific order, because once you have your attachments and scents, then you'll feel a little bit more comfortable with your gameplay. You might not have the aim on point, but at least you have the right attachments for you. Then you got the map knowledge under your belt, so now you know your callouts. Then the next time we'll be talking about terrace hunt and how to better your aim. And once you have all that shit down, you're good to go, man. You might as well try to play ranked at that point, and that's when the team thing comes into play. And that's when your map knowledge is really, really going to... Because not only can you position yourself accordingly, but your map knowledge will also let your teammates position themselves accordingly. That's a big, big thing. Team play is huge in this game. So back to what I was saying. The maps I'm telling you to put on right now, you're going to switch on. So I switched on Outback. I also switched on Villa, Theme Park, Coastline, Border, Cafe Dostoevsky. I wish Bartlett was in there, but it's not. Chalet, Canal, Bank, Consulate, Clubhouse, Oregon, and Turnoff House. And then you hit X to apply. Those are all the maps in rank. So when you're starting out here and you're trying to learn your maps, you can do this one of two ways. What I would suggest you to do is to go into Terrace Hunt, because not only are you getting, so this is all about map knowledge, right? So not only are you getting your map knowledge in, but you're also getting your aim down and getting used to that sense, maybe tweaking the sense depending on what you like, getting used to those attachments, etc. So some people would say to go into a custom game and kind of do this, but I personally think that, you know, you can learn the maps as you go and play Terrace Hunt. A lot of you, if you're newer, you might not have even played a lot of these maps. You know, there's some people that tell me they've never played specific maps, and that blows my mind because I've played them a million times. But there are people out there that are in that boat. So in that case, you're trying to, you know, get used to that sense, but also learn the maps. Just for example, I'm going to turn off all these that I told you. Leave them on yourself, but I'm going to just turn them off so we can focus on one map. But I really think that Terrace Hunt is the best way. If you want to do custom games and not have the terrace breathing down your neck, you can do the same thing in custom games. You know, just set up a normal custom game, go on to whatever map that you think is best, and kind of just try to figure it out. But I would suggest to do it this way. We'll play Bank. Okay. I never play this myself on Terrace Hunt, so that's what we're going to do. So I strictly turned off all the maps just for this video. I would say keep them all on and just play the maps as they come to you. But do just as I said in the last video, I have just strictly Terrace Hunt. If you go to your matchmaking preferences, right here, all your Terrace Hunt's settings. And all these maps strictly apply to Terrace Hunt. They don't apply to matchmaking. They don't apply to custom games. Matchmaking, you get any and every map, you know, if you're in casual, and then the specific rank pool in ranked. And then in custom games, you can pick whatever map you'd like. But so this is specifically towards Terrace Hunt. So there's all these different types of Terrace Hunt. I do Terrace Hunt Classic because it's strictly about kills. There's no other. So like this is kind of like the beginner Terrace Hunt. If you're trying to do the more advanced stuff, you maybe will do Disarm Bomb, but that's for a whole nother time. So Terrace Hunt Classic, it's just going to be you versus 22 enemies. You just got to kill them. So this is the easiest way to get your sense on as well as learn the maps. So turn that Terrace Hunt Classic on, turn all the rest of these off, and then hit X to apply. We already have our maps figured out because I already showed you those. So we're good to go. Now you just make sure it's on Lone Wolf and not matchmaking, because otherwise you'll get 5 other people who are stealing your kills and you won't be able to fully learn the maps by yourself. So I do it on normal. There's no reason to go to hard realistic. Maybe hard if you're trying to look for a little bit more of a challenge, and realistic got really hard after they took out bombers and stuff. This is what everyone uses to practice. So if you're not using this to your advantage, I feel bad for you. It's not saying that everyone has to do it. It's completely up to you. But if you do want to get better, this is number one thing that I suggest is Terrace Hunt. So one thing that I should have mentioned, which I didn't, well, I'll mention it afterwards. There are different spawn points, right? So right here is the parking front. And this is one of 3 spawn points when you spawn on attack. The next one is all the way over here. Right here is the next spawn point. So you'd spawn around somewhere around here. This is called Jewelry Front. So over there, right here, and then the last one is back in the alley. I'm not going to run to it, but you can see it. It's right back here. And this is back alley, or alley access. Right there on the kind of bottom, middle, bottom right, depending on how you want to say it, there's a compass. So it's always moving as you move. You can see that. And to the right of the compass, it says external low roof. So right here is considered the low roof. Now, if I were to move up to here, this is considered the high roof. So as you move around the map, there's a lot of different callouts that you can learn as you go through the map. Just by walking through them, a lot of the callouts will come to you. You won't even have to try to guess what they are or look up videos as to what the callouts are. They have them right there for you. So when I vault down here, I know that this section is terrace. And I vault down here. Now this is back alley, and this is where I was talking about with the spawn. This is technically alley access spawn, or back alley. It's kind of referred to as both, depending on who you're playing with. So as I'm running through the map, not only am I looking for those terrace, but I'm doing my best to look at the compass and see, you know, what each spawn is called as I walk through the map. So this is electrical room. And right here is the skylight stairwell. People will call this square or skylight. Skylight because of this up here. And so they'll say bottom skylight, and you know there's somewhere right here. This is also a main hatch to a main objective. So one of the objectives on bomb will be in here. So this will be one, and this is called CCTV. And the other bomb will be hiding in here. And this will be where the second bomb is placed. And this is called lockers, right? So it'll be CCTV and lockers. And this is, when you're playing on ranked, this is the most common place to go for the first objective. So as I'm walking through here, I'm trying to kill these terrorists. I'm looking at my compass to kind of decide what specific spots that I want to remember. So right here is the server room. If you spawn in the jewelry front, like that guy just did, if you spawn in the jewelry front, you're most likely going to drop down this ladder. You're going to run up here, and there's going to be someone playing right here in the server. And I know this because that's just how people set up. But, so, as you play these maps more, you'll start to realize how people play, and then learning the callouts is that much easier. Now, if you think, you know, Terrace Hunt is too hard at the same time of trying to learn these callouts, maybe you just want to go and play custom games. It's totally up to you. I like to do both. But, you know, some people will play this hatch. They'll pop it open, and they'll play above it so that when you enter through the dirt tunnel, they're gonna be watching, try to kill you. So I would be like, hey, they're on server hatch, and then you know that's this hatch right here, because the server room's here. There's only one hatch in the server room. A lot of things are straightforward as well. Like this, for example, is called Blue Hallway. The reason why they call this blue, we usually really just call it blue, is because it emanates this blue light. And you know, if I call blue, they're going to be somewhere in this staircase. As well as, if you go over here, this is all red. It's a red hue. So people will call this Red Hall. And here is called Vault, because it's a gold vault. Super simple. And technically, one is called Vault and one is called Gold Vault, but this entire thing in here is what people consider to be Vault. If you want to get specific with it, that's fine, but if you call Vault, people will know what you're talking about. Now, Vault is right here, and there's a hatch right above Vault. So, naturally, you're going to call that Vault Hatch. Right here, that's quite obviously an elevator, so you'd call this Elevator. Look at that, there's a hatch in it. Elevator hatch. See what I mean? It's very, very straightforward. And here is the garage. You can call this garage door or garage entrance. And then when they move up to here, kind of call it the garage truck or truck and garage, whatever you want to say. This is the main stairway because it leads you to the, oh, okay, I didn't plan on dying. That was the main stairway because it leads you to the stairs in the central part of the map. And that brings you all the way down or all the way up, depending on where you want to go. You learning callouts is just strictly about using your common sense. And by that I mean, what do you think, you know, this specific callout is? And 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a very obvious callout name that you could have guessed. So, use your best judgment. Some of them might not be as straightforward as you think. and some of them will be. What I would suggest for you guys to do is to pretend like you're attacking a specific objective. So if they were upstairs, for example, I would spawn alley access. I would spawn alley access because it's the simplest way for me to get from where I am in the spawn to my objective that I'm trying to attack. You want to waste little to no time. So I would go from back alley, jump down to terrace, I would drone this out, and then I would go into stock and trading room and try to look for people down the hallway. See, a lot of people hide in this janitor closet right here. So I would look over here, as well as they try to hide in the elevators down there. Say, hey, I'm going to push stock trading room. Can you guys push over here, which, remember, in the previous, we called that skylight, or square. Do you guys want to push the skylight so you can watch my right side? Then all I have to do is worry about left side. And then it's just a matter of getting into the objective from there. And as you're going through here, you know, learn that this is called janitor's closet. You know, learn that this is called CEO office. So, really all it is, it's just you, it's a matter of you spending the time and effort of going through each one of these objectives. And maybe you can, if you don't know the specific objectives, look in casual and then kind of come back to here later. Traverse every map, you know, pick all the maps that are in ranked. Make sure you kind of go in and out and up and down each room. Use that compass to your advantage. And soon you'll figure out that a lot of these callouts are very, very straightforward. And then it's just a matter of knowing each one on each map. Map knowledge is going to be the #1 thing you're going to want to learn. It's also going to be the hardest thing, which is why I'm spending a little extra time on this one to kind of show you how I do it, how I did it. But ultimately, your map knowledge is going to come down to you just playing this game enough. It's just as simple as that. And before you know it, you'll be a pro Siege player. If you have your sense down and you have your map knowledge down, then we can go on to the next video and teach you how to hone in on that sensitivity. If you guys want me to break down every map, I can do so. Just let me know in the comments what you'd like me to do. If I missed anything, or if you think I skipped something on map knowledge, let me know as well. This is just a beginner tutorial, so I don't want to overload you with too much information. I already feel like I did. But I think that a lot of people will find this beneficial. Before you know it, you'll have them down, and your team will love you for it. I promise you. It's one of the best teammates to have. It's not only someone that can kill people, but someone that can call out and call out appropriately. So the other thing I can say is just use operators to your advantage. People like Valkyrie or Maestro, you know, if you spend a lot of time on the cams, you'll start to realize, hey, this is this room. I already know this from playing Terrasun, or I know this from playing casual, or etc. etc. Just be observant. And, you know, flip through those cams when you're dead. That'll, you know, it'll definitely help you to get better map knowledge. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to give it a like. If you guys, like I said, if you guys have any suggestions for me, let me know in the comments. If you liked it, subscribe. I'm live every single night except for Thursday and Sunday. So if you guys have questions and want to come stop by, twitch.tv/SweetleMyDeetle. It's the exact same thing as my YouTube, as my Instagram, as my Twitter, etc. Other than that, hope you guys have a good one, and we'll see you. Peace.